We are back here on the weekend show, and we're going to get to our third guest of the evening here. Actually, we have two gentlemen joining us right now. We have Mr. Abdullah Al-Fadil, and he is the head of the computer and internet at the Kuwait dive team. And he's joined by a special guest to Kuwait, Mr. Paulo de Oliveira, and he's from Portugal. And he is the biological and environmental photographer. And this is a man with a wide range of talents and experience with, let's say, marine life, underwater photography. He's written books and many columns for papers and so forth. And I could go on and on about his wide range of experience. We'd like to welcome you both gentlemen to the program here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Oliveira, we'd like to start out with you. Can you tell us the purpose of your visit to Kuwait?
Well, I've come here, I've been asked to come here from the Kuwait diving team to make a course, a small course about underwater photography, and to help them to make a book about the underwater fauna of the coral reefs of Kuwait, which is a very interesting subject. I am very honored by his invitation, because I like very much to work with them. Apart from being very nice people, I'm very interested for his work because they have made a lot of work on environmental conservation with his volunteer work that I appreciate very much, that posture on life, and they have made a lot, as you must know, a lot of work, and so it's a pleasure to work with them. They are professionals on this kind of work, as I am professional in photography, and together I think we can do a very good work.
Is this your first time to visit Kuwait?
It's the second time, and it's a pleasure always to come here, because I think that I know other Arabic countries, and here in Kuwait I have the pleasure to see that you have very well put together modernity or Western life with the traditional one in a very good way. People are very sweet, and it's a pleasure to come here.
Well, I'm glad you like to come to Kuwait, and I hope you enjoy your stay here. Of course, we'd like to go to you now, Mr. Abdullah, and can you inform us about the documentary project that is getting underway, and that's the reason that the guest is here?
First I want to thank Kuwait TV2 for inviting us here. Also about the visit of Mr. Oliveira, the Kuwait dive team was always interested in making a documentary or documenting underwater life of Kuwait. It's very interesting, it's very beautiful. We have to show all people how beautiful our marine life is. We are not, as Mr. Oliveira said, we are not professional, we are all amateurs. We try to be professionals. But we want to document, to make books, to make as much photography for underwater to show the people. That's why we thought instead of sending our members, our divers outside to get courses, we thought why not bring the best photographer. Mr. Oliveira is one of the best in the world. So we suggested that to him, and he accepted, and he wanted to help the team. So he comes here, and that way we have a chance to teach as many divers of our team members to be excellent in underwater photography and videography.
Okay. Now, Mr. Abdullah, the documentary specifically, is that going to be about all the, let's say, everything underwater, or is it specifically towards, let's say, coral reefs, marine life? What can you tell us on that?
As much as we can, we will try, because we have five photographers, underwater photographers, who already have license for photography, underwater photography, who already had pictures from hard courses in America, United States of America, and in Egypt, the best places in the world. But also, when a professional underwater photographer like Mr. Oliveira, he will bring the photography team of the Kuwait dive team to the best knowledge and the best experience, inshallah.
Inshallah. And Mr. Oliveira, we'd like to ask you again, what do you think about the coral reefs here in Kuwait?
Well, first let me apologize for my bad English, but as my Arabic is even worse. So
your English is just fine.
Well,
go ahead.
what I think is about the coral reefs of Kuwait is that they are beautiful places. Has all coral reefs at sea. They are very important places because at sea, coral reef, especially in a place like the Arabic Gulf, it's like an oasis in the middle of the desert. If there were no coral reefs here in the Arabic Gulf, it will be very few species, very few species disponible for us, for it, and for seeing in the sea. Because the sand cannot support so much life as a coral reef, far from it. But there is a very important matter to see and to know about the coral reefs of the Arabic Sea, Arabic Gulf, is that these corals here are very well acclimated to very special environmental conditions, very hard. The corals suffer very high temperatures, very low temperatures, very high salinity, and nowadays when the climate is changing, we see now it's raining here in Kuwait, everything is changing too fast. And in the sea, especially on the coral reefs, there is a phenomenon that we call bleaching, the English call bleaching, that the corals become white and die and disappear. And we can see in Melanesia, we can see in Maldives, entire coral reefs who have disappeared, vanished, and they will never recover because the corals have millions of years and are acclimated to a certain stable conditions. When this change, they are all over, that's over. And here in the Gulf, you can find sometimes the same species, variations, that perhaps can be transported to these places and reconstruct in a more speedy way the reef. You see, for example, during the occupation of Iraq, there was this disaster, ecological disaster with the oil, and all the coral reef, people have seen that he has recovered very fast. So that can be very important to solution of problems on other coral reefs, perhaps. So it's, apart from being very beautiful, and you must show people the coral reefs of Kuwait, even to the Kuwaitians that sometimes don't know what they have below the waters, close to them.
We'll talk a little bit about that a bit later. But Mr. Abdullah, now about the artificial reefs. You know, the Kuwait Environment, I believe, Public Authority and the Kuwait Oil Company and the Kuwait Dive Team, they planted the first artificial reefs in Kuwait. How is that going right now? Are they in the process of doing more of those, and how has that been?
Well, if you're talking about the operation 2 days ago, it's our 13th.
13th.
Our 13th, yes. We started in 1995. And we planted maybe hundreds of tons of treated concrete blocks that we try to recover the loss of the natural coral reef. When you put treated concrete into the sea, then in 6 months it will be natural coral reef. So we try to give back to the sea to make the coral reefs bigger, and it's much better for the marine life, of course. So this project has been with the team for about now 7 years.
Okay, and the artificial
and
reefs
been
that
very
you did were
successful
successful, huh?
Very successful. Thank you. We want to thank the EPA, Environment Public Authority, and Kuwait Oil Company, and the Coast Guard, and everybody in Kuwait who's helping the Kuwait Dive Team to continue with this beautiful project.
Mr. Oliveira, what do you, you touched on a little bit just before we asked Abdullah the question about the artificial reefs. What do you actually think about